Josh Donaldson, arch nemesis of the White Sox, and almost like pretty much arch nemesis of Tim Anderson, um, took things to I guess maybe a little bit of a dark corner here.
I'd call it an asshole-ish corner, and that would
Yeah,
lead us to our asshole of the week already.
yeah, we rarely do we kick it off this way, but it's really the headline from the past week, especially in regards to this podcast.
It's the biggole story in baseball, so I think it's kind of amazing that we have this platform that is perfectly placed to discuss the
True.
asshole-ish behavior of one Josh Donaldson.
Real quick, this all started. His behavior started in the series back in Chicago, where he kneed Timmy in the head on a
Yeah,
throwback behind him at third. We covered that already.
it
But
actually, and you even brought up that it started, the year before, if not sooner, with the animosity between the White Sox and Twins at the time. With him he was a former asshole of the week last year, actually, with his antics against Lucas Giolito.
right, true. And since we do this show once a week, we often have the pleasure of having everything laid out before us, so we can actually tell the full story, which other news outlets don't always end up getting to have. And what we did find out over the past week, which when this story first broke, and for those of you who may not know what happened, is that Josh Donaldson, during the most recent series, referred to Tim Anderson as Jackie.
What's up, Jackie? Was his
Yes,
multiple times quoted at Tim Anderson.
which at the time when the news first broke, we didn't really understand the history of it. Josh claimed that it was an inside joke between he and Tim. Tim said he
Is ludicrous.
took offense to it. Found the term offensive, and obviously I find the term offensive as what the underlining meaning could be behind that.
He called it disrespectful, which,
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it is 100% disrespectful. I'm not sure that Josh Donaldson meant it to be as disrespectful as it actually was, which is no excuse, but it was actually disrespectful to Jackie Robinson himself at the same
yes,
time,
true,
beyond just the racial connotations
undertones. Yeah,
yeah. So I do think Josh he fucks with everybody is the point, but he took it way too far with this particular comment. But I'm
and
not sure he
then
gets it though.
yeah, and then when Tim finally spoke out about it, it turned out that he referred to him as Jackie back when the Sox played Atlanta in 2019, and Tim basically told him, if this is going to be our basically if this is how we're going to talk to one another, we don't need to talk to each other
Yeah,
ever again.
it's a good
Dude,
response.
don't call me this.
And this
Well,
is all, of course, referencing the
a Sports
Sports
Illustrated
Illustrated
yeah.
article where Tim referred to himself as the new, potentially kind of, I think the quote is kind of the new Jackie Robinson, where he was this all stemmed from the infamous bat flip. I think it was in
Yeah,
Kansas City in
yeah,
2019 that kind of put Tim Anderson on the map in ways where it really was a discussion of old school baseball and old school norms versus new school thought processes and emotions and fun,
the
which we are,
unwritten rules.
yeah, the unwritten rules versus,
We
yeah,
hate unwritten rules here.
we are pro fun on this
Yeah,
podcast. So yeah, that is the context, at least, that
yeah, and it,
Josh was referencing, and that's why I believe he probably, he's fucking with, he's making fun of him, but I think he didn't even, I mean, he's a dumbass mostly, but I don't think he even realized what he was doing when he kept on with this and brought it back after 3 years. So
yeah, and after he was asked
yeah,
not to say it. So, but like you said, that's his mo. He's an
he's a
instigator.
he's a
I mean,
fucking pest. The
yeah,
perfect way that Lucas Giolito described him last season.
yeah,
He's a fucking pest.
and I think he's not like a clubhouse guy. Like no Yankee came out in support of
No.
or said that Tim overreacted. In fact, Aaron Judge
Yeah, he said it
was
wasn't
basically
cool.
like it wasn't cool. TA's he's a key component of the new era of baseball, basically, and it's not cool what he did, which is great because I see him playing right field for us next year, so he's gonna fit in perfectly.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I've had that dream. I have it every night.
We'll do we'll do that breakdown in this off season at some point.
Yeah, but anyway, I digress. Out of that is a much larger what are we calling this? Runner up assholes or
Dishonorable mention. I thought
okay, dishonorable mention. So
there's so many assholes this week. We had to rank them almost. So
yeah, so
number one, obviously the winner
the
of
winner
our asshole of the
yes.
week is Josh Donaldson for obvious reasons. Our dishonorable mentions. We have two dishonorable mentions.
Yankee Nation on Twitter.
Yeah, this
interesting.
Well, not even on Twitter, in the stadium.
That too. The Jackie chants and the booing.
Booing Tim Anderson for being black, I guess. I mean, what he got someone talk trash to him based on race, and now he gets booed, which is just absurd.
I mean, they've had a lot of issues there. The Yankees fans are on a whole new level of assholeism this year.
Oh, they are former asshole of the week.
That's right.
Like just
a few
ago.
weeks back. Yeah. So let's read some of the tweets. Well, this one's pretty just to the point. I stand with Josh Donaldson. All right.
What?
The fearless beard. This is my favorite one, who I responded to. If you believe Josh Donaldson referring to Tim Anderson as Jackie Robinson is racist, then you are an absolute stupid son of a bitch, and there's no help for you, and all you see is race, and you can go eat a big old bag of dicks. To which I responded,
I've heard this phrase "bag of dicks" many times. Like, what?
Does that exist? I don't know, but to which I responded, I couldn't get any bags of dicks because you had purchased them all. So now there's another one which got taken down by Joey G. I thought I had
a Yankees fan.
I thought I had captured it. I did not, but I'm going to paraphrase it. Tim Anderson is an effing asshole. The first thing the Yankees should do is hit him in the head with the first pitch of the game.
Okay.
And Tony La Russa, that wrinkled fuck, should just shut his fucking mouth calling Josh Donaldson racist. So I thought that was a pretty extreme response, that Tim should get drilled in the head because he was offended by a remark.
And his teammates came to his aid.
Yeah, which
is all apparently Tim Anderson's fault.
Yeah, which I think one of the best, we're going to get to anti-hero out of this segment too already, that you brought up, which is a great one. But another great comment was it it was either Yasmani or Liam who said, well, I think it was Yasmani, to have an inside joke with someone, you have to actually be friends with them. and it's like, no, yeah, right. But
yeah, to describe it as an inside joke is just absurd. Yeah. And Josh has come out, I believe it was yesterday, with a statement apologizing to Jackie Robinson's wife, Rachel, and the Jackie Robinson family. I think he finally gets that part of it, that he offended that whole side of things. His comments were not just directed or absorbed by Tim Anderson. It affected multiple communities, and an American hero in Jackie Robinson and his family. So at least he gets that part of it. But he still he said he stands by. What did he?
He still. I have it here. Just give me a second here. What he said though is,
he was defending his. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. He was defending what he said to Tim, is what you were going to say. He also claimed that he and Anderson have a mutual understanding. Well, I don't know what that is.
But he said something about standing by his original comment, or I forget how he phrased it. So it's like, sorry if you were offended, the classic non-apology apology.
I stated over the weekend that I apologize for offending Tim and that it was a misunderstanding based on multiple exchanges between us over the years. My view of that exchange hasn't changed, and
Okay, that's what it is.
I absolutely meant no disrespect. In
Well,
the
he
past,
obviously
it had
meant
never been an issue.
He absolutely meant disrespect, because that's what he does. He disrespects everybody. He didn't. I don't. And this is what I was talking about earlier. I don't think he realized that what he was doing was racist or could be perceived as racist. So I think that's what he's really trying to say. But to say he wasn't trying to disrespect Tim Anderson, of course he is. That's what he does.
That's the
That's
whole
how
point of it.
he's
Yeah.
trying to get under people's skin. He doesn't just do it to Tim Anderson. And this is where it gets back to, I don't think he was really necessarily trying to be racist, even though he incidentally was. He's just trying to fuck with everybody. And at this point, he went too far and made it racist. It's his fuckery, essentially. So
Yeah. And, to
so he
make
kind of
that,
gets it, but he doesn't get it, I guess. I don't know.
to continue his asshole-ish, then he goes on the COVID list, and then all of a sudden Lewis Robert has COVID too. So fuck you, Josh Donaldson.
Oh, wow.
Passing, distributing
transmitted on the field.
Yeah. I think it's just coincidence, but whatever. It's makes for a good story. But
we made the Yankees fans on Twitter and in person a dishonorable mention for our asshole of the week. But there's another dishonorable mention we have to bring up, is the 1-game suspension, not even ruled upon by Rob Manfred. He let that go down to his cronies, his underlings. I believe is it vice president of disciplinary or on-field stuff, Mike Hill, gave Josh Donaldson a 1-game suspension, which is being appealed already, and an undisclosed fine as well. So what's going to happen, of course, with all these appeals, essentially cut this, whatever the penalty is, in half. So what they're going to do is they're not even going to suspend him. They'll just give him a fine and call it good, which is pretty outrageous, considering how ugly this situation is. What a stain on the game this has been, and their lack of taking this seriously just shows how clueless Rob Manfred is. So I'm going to give him a dishonorable mention.
Yeah, I think this goes back to the idea that you got a bunch of old white owners, a bunch of MLB at the top is white businessmen who don't really get it.
Yeah, I think they're showing clearly that they don't get it. So
again,
you could say, what would the appropriate penalty be? What
pound
of flesh do you want? Would 3 games make you happy? Would 8 games make you happy? That's arbitrary.
Let's be honest. Like, probably no penalty from
someone would complain about it.
Yeah. Someone's going to complain about it no matter what. I thought one was light. I expected 3, to be honest. That was my head. He's going to get a 3-game suspension.
That's what I
that he would appeal it,
and
it would go down to 2 or 1, and then we'd move on. So we'll see how long. We'll see the after effect and how this lingers and how this affects baseball as a whole and other people playing the Yankees, other African American players who are on the field with Josh Donaldson. I mean, it could turn into much bigger than an isolated incident.
Yeah, it seems like he's learned a little bit maybe from this, so I can't believe it'll ever happen again. But there could be on-field consequences for Donaldson going forward. We'll see.
Word Hole Media.